How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. Oscar Blue right here live from Tijuana, Mexico. From my car, I'm just waiting for a breakfast. It is the waiting for breakfast. It is 22nd of June of the year 2024. How's everybody doing? It's nice to say hello to you guys from Tijuana all the way to over there to the United States to everywhere that you're watching. It's really the media in the United States of America, in the world basically, but in specifically in the United States of America, has gone mad. Really, it has lost completely their mind. The left media in the United States of America has become completely disgusting. It's just absolutely insulting, disgusting, the most horrible, unprofessional, unethical media. It is the left media in the United States of America, and there's no other way to describe it. What they have done most recently, and what am I going to talk about right now, it is just appalling and to a point that is shocking to make you understand at what point that they're willing to go to lie and to fit their narrative and to win an election. It is such a disgusting and disgraceful, uh, you know, disgraceful way to just approach a topic that is so serious about a young lady that got raped and later on taken away her life by two illegal aliens. That is the correct term. That they entered the border and they entered the country of the United States of America illicitly, illegally, irregularly, however you want to call it, and they committed a crime. These illegal aliens, they're migrants. Yes, they migrated, but they entered the country illegally. And I'm talking about what most recently happened in the part with, I think that it was uh, the death of a migrant that is in Texas. This was posted by NBC News. And this is why I'm saying that it's so disgusting. As a journalist, this is completely unethical. And MSNBC, ABC, CBS, Democracy Now, The Daily Beast, all of these left progressive mercenary networks, all of them, they're always going to pander to this language. And before I speak on the topic, they are going to use that language to basically, you know, defend themselves and create a language barrier of defense. When it comes to this, to the assassination of this 12-year-old, they're going to say that the right-wing media and everybody else that does not agree with them, it is creating hysteria, it is fear-mongering, and it is it is flaming the news. It is expanding. It is creating amarillismo, like we say in Mexico. It is creating hysteria because that murder can easily more happen if when Americans do it. This is how disgusting the post of MSNBC was posted about the assassination of the young girl Jocelyn Nungaray. It says NBC posted this. It says death in the latest suspected murder. Suspected, no, it's not suspected. It was a murder by migrants, which has led to political firestorms. It's no political firestorm. This is how, my God, so disgusting. Even as studies, even they try to justify this murder. It said even as studies have shown that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S. born citizens. This is the way that they're justifying the death of this young little 12-year-old that is Jocelyn Nungaray. Let me just address this in the most calm and professional way if I can, because this is so disgusting. There has been several murders have been happening, and several murders that have been happening because of illegal aliens or illegal immigrants or immigrants that they have come in into the border illegally, not entering to a port of entry or through a process of CBP1 that it was made by you, the left, and they enter to a non-port of entry and they have committed several crimes. Now, that is not the point. The point is not you're justifying something that is just that you're trying to justify this murder. That is not the point. The point is these people entered the country illicitly, and they shouldn't be committing crimes in a country. Whatever happens in the United States of America, Americans committing crimes, Americans committing shootings, or Americans committing crimes in their country, it is their own problem. Whatever happens in their country, committing crimes by their American nationals or U.S. citizens, it is their problem. If an illegal alien enters the country and commits a crime, that is a foreign problem, because your foreign policies of protecting your borders are not even protected, and you're allowing international foreign nationals to enter your country under the claim of asylum and refugee, and they're committing crimes. That is the whole point, and you're defending that and justifying that because you're trying to defend the disaster of an open border policy that Joe Biden has committed, that Joe Biden has created. Now, how ironic. You want to talk about, that more crimes are committed by U.S. citizens than migrants, immigrants. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. Now, let us go to the Biden administration. Let us go to the Biden administration. You have more than 88% of the people that they're being arrested right now, between the limitations of the border, Mexico and the United States, trafficking tons of fentanyl. Guess who they are? They are U.S. citizens. So you have U.S. citizens that they're being used by the cartel to traffic drugs into your country to completely infestate your schools, your distribution of your states and your cities by the cartel. By what? By an insecure border. Nonetheless, if there was a secure border, this high level of Americans that they're committing crimes, infestation of fentanyl into the United States of America will be on a lower decrease. And the distribution of fentanyl that is distributed by the majority of Americans will be as low, because your policies of the open border policies and Joe Biden policies have increased on the distribution of fentanyl and have increased on the distribution of synthetic drugs into your country. But because you have a disaster of a border, you have the cartel that is controlling on the Mexican side and increasingly growing economically, financially, that they have expanded all over the country of the United States of America and the 50 states because of an insecure border. Your policies. You're talking about that Americans commit more crimes. You don't talk about that the latest shootings that they have happened in schools and have happened in malls inside of the United States of America are people that they are identifying as trans and they have a mental illness disorder. Those are Americans. And the shootings that they have been happening lately in insecure parts, in insecure areas, happen because of your agenda of the mental illness and the trans agenda, the gender agenda. You don't talk about the violence of Americans in democratic states, right? If you want to justify this murder because of Americans committed more crimes than immigrants, why are you not justifying that in the highest crime rate are democratic states? You're talking about California, talking about Portland, talking about Baltimore, talking about St. Louis, talking about New York. If you want to justify that, you are absolutely right. Because yes, there's a high level of more Americans committing more crimes than illegal aliens. And those Americans that they're committing more crimes are, guess where? In blue states. They're not in red states. They're in blue states. Now, going back to the fact that you're justifying the murder of an innocent child, what an insult. I saw two things this weekend, and it's just such an insult. The first thing, talking about the murder, emphasizing on this murder, and this taking away of an innocent child's life. This is an insult that has been doing the Biden administration since they came in. Since Joe Biden went to Afghanistan and was looking at the watch and left his people abandoned in Afghanistan, and when the fallen soldiers came back to the United States, he was just so out of touch, not even looking, not even giving the respect for the people that happened over there in the contaminated area where it exploded something in the water. I don't know where. He completely abandoned over there the place. He has completely abandoned the border, all because of his narrative and his globalist agenda. The global compact on migration, he's all part of it. United Nations controlling your border. It is not even a speculation. It is not even a conspiracy. There is a reality. And due to this factor, illegal aliens or immigrants or migrants have come into the border, the ones that they want to do. I have walked, and before we go there, to all these progressive, mercenary, activist, socialist, communist, Marxist liberals, the majority of you that criticize me are white. Before we go there, I believe that migration is a human right. It's a human right that every human deserves. But in every human right to migrate, there's a process and there's a law. And we need to obey those processes and we need to obey those laws. 1, 2, your language barrier of defense does not apply to me. Every single independent, centrist, libertarian, conservative that is not a progressive, they know now your strategy. So it's not going to work. This is why the mainstream media of the left, you're falling apart. You are done. You're falling apart. Independent media and libertarian media, centrist media, conservative media has taken over every single particle that you represent, has completely blasted you with the truth and exposed you with the truth. And you're using this language barrier defense for your mechanism to defend this murder now. You're going to say that this is the right-wing media and extremists. They're creating hysteria. They're fear-mongering. This is a conspiracy theory. There's all QAnon people. It's white supremacy. It's white imperialism. It's xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia, pronoun phobia, fat phobia, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Creating violence. That's your language. And if we do not go with your language, and if we're not part, me, brown Mexican, if I'm not part of your language, I will be a traitor to my people. I will be a traitor to immigrants. I'm not defending immigrants. No, sir. I have said multiple times, and when you feel my shoes of what I have done covering migration, you can have to talk about it. You can have the cojones to talk about it. As I am the only Mexican and Latino who has crossed the Darien Gap 4 times with an American. I have documented more than 11 caravans in South America, in Mexico. Documented migration in South America and in Europe. You're not going to tell me how many good people they're coming and how many bad people they're coming. There's a lot of good people that they're coming. A lot of good people. I have met doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, teachers, farmers, good family men, good family women. But in those vulnerable people, you have these kind of animals that they're coming in and they are committing these kind of horrible crimes. And because of an insecure border, and because you're allowing people to enter to non-ports of entry, you have discrepancies. And these discrepancies are that out of 10, 1, it is not right. And that 1, it is going to cause a bad image to all immigrants. And it is because of your policies. Because of your policies and because of your left progressive policies, our image of an immigrant, it is being completely damaged and destroyed. Because of your open border policies, the whole purpose of what an immigrant represents in the United States of America, it is completely being eradicated and destroyed. Because we, as Latinos, we come to the United States of America for a dream, to work, to provide a better life for our families. We don't want to be We don't want to be treated as a farmer, as working as a construction worker, as a gardener. We have a capacity and capability to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, leaders, senators, congressmen. We can be the best of all, but you want to put us in a little box and control us there and use us for your political gain and narrative and votes. That's what you want to do. And that's what you're using right now politically to win an election. Now you just pass an executive order. You want to help immigrants just 5 or 6 months just before you're going to win an election. And just before you're trying to win an election, this kind of crimes happens. And who is the one that is going to defend this narrative only? The left media. The ones that they're really sellouts. The ones that they're really traitors to our country. The ones that are really traitors to your country. The ones that are really traitors to our people. You're using us for your political narrative. And when something like this gets exploded, something like this gets exposed, immediately you're trying to decrease and level the aggressiveness of this crime because of an insecure border. And ultimately, you're trying to justify every single thing that is happening. You know, it's sad. It's sad the leftist media, somebody's commentated, Oscar, what do you think about Trump idea to give legal citizenship to migrants if they go to college? I'm not sure about that. I'm sure about it. I completely support it. Everybody deserves an opportunity. If they're doing things right and if they're doing things absolutely correct, everybody deserves an opportunity. It is the land of immigrants. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave. And they're willing to do the best that they can inside of their country and inside of your country and provide a better life and provide a better economy. Of course, absolutely, I support it. But they need to do things right. Everything needs to be done right. It needs to be correct. And it is a great opportunity for people to grow. It's a great opportunity. I've said multiple times, you know, if you want Central America and South America to go, your American corporations need to release more money. Stop milking out of 3,000% in international territory. You know, you're bringing all these international American corporations to other lands, and you're making 3,000%, and you're paying, you know, what they don't deserve. You know, create better jobs. You want to expand, create better jobs, be fair with salary. You know, that's the only thing. Sad to see this, man. And, you know, the left media is so disgusting. So disgusting. It's really disgusting, the left media. And it's completely, blatantly depressive. It's depressing. It is, you know, it's how they're trying to, man, I'm just looking at the picture of this young child. And it's so depressing to see a 12-year-old that was brutally taken advantage by two older men, adults. And, you know, it's so sad that not even a crime like that, because of your progressive agenda, because of your political stature, because of what you want to represent politically, basically denies your eyes to see the truth. And the truth is that you don't know who's coming in. You don't know who is coming into every border. And I will tell you an observation. You know, this is a speculation. It is not creating hysteria, just for you to think about it. Food for thought. These people have been traveling, these kind of, you know, a lot of the migrants have traveled through horrible journeys. I have been through them. Darien Gap, horrible places. Horrible places. Have been through that. And it's so sad to see the people go through that, man. It's so sad to see that. But in terms to these kind of individuals, these kind of animals that they commit this kind of crimes inside of the United States, what makes you not to believe that they have committed these kind of crimes in other countries as they were migrating? What makes you believe that these kind of crimes were not committed when they were migrating to Costa Rica, migrating through Nicaragua, migrating through Honduras, migrating to El Salvador, migrating to Guatemala migrating to Mexico. What makes you believe that possibly they did something like this somewhere else and they were not caught? Because, obviously there's the corruption, there's the level of insecurity, there's the level of I can get away with it in other countries more than the United States of America. Although in the United States of America is converting now into a really progressive mercenary government. But ultimately, what makes you believe that, you know, this is, that they haven't committed these kind of crimes? Saying most of them have committed crimes in their own country. You're talking about most of who? Most of these kind of people or most of the migrants? Because you're generally speaking, and that's bad. It's not most of them. We have the majority of the people that they live in Latin America. They're extremely good, hard workers, and good people. What are you talking about? Most of them. Uh, it's it's just sad, and it's more than sad. It's infuriating. For me, it's infuriating that these people are fuming this idea. They're fuming this idea of humanitarian. They're fuming this idea of it's okay. That's a less crime. That's a minor crime. They're higher crimes and they're more important crimes that we need to worry about. Let's take care of that and let the Justice Department take care of it. That doesn't matter. It's that's the thing that really aggravates me, that you don't take this seriously and you don't understand that one of these crimes can exacerbate to another one and 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 another one. And it's because you have an insecure border. Migration is a human right, but you need to have a filter. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to know who is really a legitimate case of persecution and asylum that needs help immediately, and who does not. It has a case of asylum and refugee, and who has a really bad background that you need to say, hey, hold on a minute, man, let me check you for a little bit. It's just more than anything, this is what MSNBC just did. It is completely disgusting. Completely disgusting. And this is the left media. This is the left media. MSNBC, Democracy Now, Daily Beast, all of these medias, CBS, all of these, CNN, they're really, what do you expect? What can you expect from these people? And I have seen and worked side by side with some of them, some of the left media, and when they come to me, they say, Blue, I don't understand what side you pitch on, man, because I know that you defend, but you work for a right-wing media. And I say, well, I work for a right-wing media, but I'm never going to change who I am. If they have their narrative, they have their narrative. If I work with the leftist media, you will have your pandering narrative, and I will tell you, no, you're wrong. This is the way it is, and I will say it the way it is. So if I work for a right-wing media, that doesn't make me that I think exactly the same as everybody else. It's called freedom of speech. It's a thing that God gave us when we were born. Everybody thinks different. If everybody thought and everybody was thinking exactly the same, we will be robots. That's the most beautiful thing about being yourself and thinking about yourself. And and every single time that I'm approached by a left media, I say, if you use this language, I'm not going to talk to you, man. Really, because that is just to defend yourself and to just put myself in a capsule to just not explain and not have freedom of speech. First and foremost, and second of all, I'm Team Jesus. I don't know what team you're on, but I'm Team Jesus. So everything that is unexplainable, everything that is unreachable, everything that is impossible, everything that is inhumanly possible to be done, I believe that it can be done because I'm Team Jesus. First and foremost. This is a sad thing, man. And this is what the left media has done, not only now, but what they have done before and before and before and before. This has been going on for the longest of times. And this is the most important thing. And the most important thing is that we need to understand. We need to understand the border security. It is extremely important. Extremely important. And I don't know how the next government it is going to combat the organized crime if they want to say, hey, the border's closed. Whew, I don't know how the cartel is going to react like that. Because the cartel is going to say, hey, if you're going to tell them, hey, you know what, we're done, it's done. You cannot do that anymore. Stay over there. What do you think they're going to say? Oh, what the hell? No. You have opened a window of evil. And that's what the Biden administration has done. That is completely not evil, not the migrants, not speaking about the migrants, evil about the cartel. Because the migrants are coming for a better opportunity, and those vulnerable people, you have bad people like you're seeing right now. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're opening the door and the window for the cartel to operate on the whole border. And it's just when you operate and when you see that, you're seeing like, whoa, man, what are you doing, U.S.? You're making them grow over here in our country. You're complicating more of the things over here. What are you doing, United States government? No, stop. Don't do that. You're making them more money. You're giving them more power. Now we're gonna if we have a corruption over here in Mexico, now to fight it off is gonna be double the effort. Double the effort. Now we have to look how to see technology, this and that. What are you doing with these policies? No, stop. And you have created a market with these open border policies, not only in Mexico, Central America and South America. We have shown you how this is a business. In the Darien Gap in Colombia, we have been there. In Nicocli, where this is a human market. This is a human business. NGOs making millions and millions out of human misery. This is why they want this to continue, because it's a moneymaker. It's modern day slavery. They're weaponizing the migration for their political gain. There's no other things than that. God bless you all. Somebody saying, put this comment, the real criminals facilitate the cartels like the CIA and the DEA. Shish, I don't want to say anything. I can say a lot, but I don't want to, I'm in a live stream, man. You want to hang myself right now? But some comments, a lot of the times, some of the comments say, say a million times percent the agreeable, and sometimes I read comments that they're not even, I'm like, no, you're completely incorrect. God bless every single one of you. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you, man. God bless you. This we need to bring God. That's the thing. That's the number one thing. God needs to be back. God needs to be every day with us. God needs to be in schools. God needs to be in the streets. God needs to be in government. God needs to be at your work. God needs to be, we need to have God every single place. Instead of having these flags that represent the colors and these flags that represent other countries, and we need to have God. First and foremost, first and other, the American flag, the Mexican flag. We need to have God in the schools. We need to have God in our houses. We need to have God everywhere in the car. We need to have God everywhere. We need to bring him back. That's what Nayib Bukele did with El Salvador. And he brought God to his country. He fixed his country and he eradicated Satan. This is the number one thing that we need. We need to bring Jesus back to every single country, every single God-given country, every single country that has in their constitution that in God we trust. This is the number one thing that we need to bring. God. That's it. That's it. More than anything, more than, waking up, teaching our children. Before you open your eyes, son, on the next morning, when you are willing and you are knowingly knowing that you are going to open your eyes, the first thing that you need to think is say, my God, I'm awake. My God, I'm going to be awake. My God, I'm breathing. My God, thank you. That's the things that we got to teach. And we're forgetting about those little things, that those little things are the ones that they initiate the engine for it to work every day and every single moment, to say, my God, I'm thanking God that I'm walking. I'm thanking God that I'm breathing. I'm thanking God that I'm speaking. I'm thanking God that I'm seeing. I'm thanking God that I'm feeling. I'm thanking God that I'm strong. I'm thanking God that I'm picking up. I'm thanking God that I can drive. I'm thanking God that I can leave. Every single thing. That's what we need to do. We're forgetting about those little things. And those little things are the ones that we are backtracking on a country. We're moving backwards. And when we're moving backwards, you got the progressives moving forwards. And you got Satan moving, pushing. No, push it back. Push it. Bring God to every single corner, man. Bring God to every single corner. We will end this, man. Satan thinks that you're winning, but not today, Satan. Not tomorrow and not ever. You're not going to win. The angels of God are always going to be surrounding every country, every city, every place, and you're going to lose every moment and every second. God, thank you for another day, another Saturday. Thank you, God, for providing another day. Everything, life in general. God, bring peace to this family that they just lost their 12-year-old child due to these evil people. You're the only one, God, that has her right now in the heavens on the side with you, at peace. God, bring peace to these families. Bring peace to every family that has suffered these kind of consequences due to these, people that they're coming in, they're committing crimes horribly against innocent childs. God, protect the children. God, protect the innocent. God, give us another day of blessings. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you guys. Take care. Stay safe. And like we always say, God's plan, it is our mission.